Yeah, I want to give a couple of people the insight into actually how guns are controlled in the military. Like, this is an armory right here, and you can see the armor. This is Army. So he's in there putting the guns back on the rack, and this is a highly secure area. It has a 24-hour guard that goes around it at all times. Actually, the rifles are not kept in the barracks per se unless you're in a combat environment. Then they will be, wherever you're stationed at. But for the majority of the military, they keep the guns under, the rifles actually, under lock and key. And all the ammunition, actually everything's accounted for. Why? Because they're scared of what a person could do. That's absolutely the fact. There is not that much control over. Basically, you have a lot of people that just got out of high school and that type of stuff. And a lot of people like to drink and things like that and do crazy things. So if the guns were over in the barracks, there'd be major problems. For the most part, the real skills that people get in the actual understanding of weapons safety comes from prior to the military, not from in the military itself. Yeah, they teach it in there, but actually most people that go into the military actually have a great understanding of weapon safety because they've been around rifles and shotguns and pistols since maybe their early teens. They understand the weapons. So that's one advantage the Americans have over everybody else because they've handled these weapons a long time. And they've handled the exact same weapons the military uses too. They know about them in many cases. But the thing is, they actually in the military, they're actually afraid to give the weapons to the average person. Just let them have them all the time and have them by their side. And they account for any ammunition because they're afraid of incidents. And they're also afraid of the top people in the military are also afraid of getting shot by their own troops. They would never know it. Now, when it gets into a situation where it's more of a combat zone or anything like that, then you have a common enemy, so it's a little bit different. But if you're getting in the boredom zone, you don't want the troops to have weapons. So you remember, this is the force that's supposedly protecting the American people. Have fun. But I want to present something else to you. When combat forces go into other countries, like Americans go into other countries, there are a number of instances that happen. And a lot of things just go unreported. I don't want to knock it or anything like that because it's an overall mission. But, when it happens over there and it doesn't happen here, it's like, hey, so what? This is battle. This is combat. It don't matter, right? We're here to enforce peace. But, at one point in time, what's going to happen in the United States is that it's probably going to fall apart eventually economically, with the debt situation. And when it does, and the government can't pay out all the things that they need to all the recipients of government help, there's going to be utter chaos. And what they will do is they will bring in peacekeeping troops through the UN and other foreign countries will come here with guns and enforce peace. Have fun. Have fun. If you're already disarmed, you're screwed. And they will be able to do it. There's no constitution then, anyway. I can't imagine if we had to actually fight for a Bill of Rights today. The people we got in America, they would never fight for it. They're already the soft, lazy, bowl-over garbage that's been, I don't know what the hell they are. They're amoebicans. That's what I call them. They would never fight to actually say we didn't even have a Bill of Rights. Imagine to go from nothing to actually get something. We already have something, and they're already getting bowled over on it. But just think, if when the United States does collapse economically, it will. Something's going to happen because the debt situation isn't going to go on forever, and it's actually by design. And Henry Kissinger said this. Basically, he was quoted as saying this back in the 1990s when he was at a Bilderberger meeting. At one point, today in the 1990s when he said this, that the Americans would abhor seeing foreign troops on the streets enforcing peace. In the future, they will welcome them. They're looking to do this. That's their game plan. Don't give up your guns. You're a fool. You're an idiot. And don't give in to any of these jerks. And hit them any possible way you possibly can. That's the way it is. Now, I'm going to say something else bad about the military, because this is one thing I always hated about a lot of the garbage in there. What they're dedicated to is not the American people, not the flag, not the president or the commander-in-chief, not the Bill of Rights, or not any kind of military code. It's direct deposit. It is a paid-for force. It's a paid-for force. If you want somebody, you want to change somebody's attitude in the military, just mess with their pay. They're in there for, they are not volunteers. That's a mercenary force that we have in the United States. So, I mean, yeah, you got good people in there, but then again, in reality, there's good and bad. But, you know, the other thing is, at one point in time, you might not even be dealing with the American military. You'll be dealing with a foreign military, because the American military might be overseas someplace doing something else. And when there's domestic problems in the United States, they'll bring in foreign military. Now, those people, forget about it. You're not going to be able to deal with them unless you give them booze or something. I have no idea. And but if you don't have guns, then you're screwed, period. And, you know, just a word to the wise. Even in the military, they don't control shit. They're afraid. In peacetime, they got a bunch of young people in there. I mean, yeah, most of them might be good, but there's always some bad apples. But see, it's not a problem if some of the bad apples do crazy crap in a foreign country. They don't want a problem in the United States. So, you know, it's like, forget about it. They don't give out any weapons in the United States. They control the crap out of this stuff. And they're also afraid on the top. The military actually is a tool of the elite. It is. It is. And it's exactly, it doesn't think, it just obeys. And just like Henry Kissinger said, he called them a bunch of dumb animals. I mean, that's exactly how the elite think of the military. But the military will play along with it as long as they get their direct deposit. And, you know, the people on the top get more direct deposit, so they play along with it even better. That's the reality behind it. So actually, the only way to have power to the people is through having weapons, period. All the other shit is talk. It's words. It's a piece of paper. It means nothing. Nothing. Zero. Nothing. All words mean nothing. The only thing that counts is force when it comes right down to it. That's the only thing they respect. And, you know, I'm going to say something about Israel, too, because, you know, a lot of people, I don't know if people think I'm kissing Israelis' asses, but I'm going to tell you this. I'm really kissing Christians' asses, because they're the ones that really aggravate me more than anything, to tell you the truth. I'm going easy on that stuff. Israel, if they weren't that strong, they'd already been destroyed. You know? It's only through force that you freaking survive, and that goes with American individuals, too. So, just a word to the wise. That's just the way it goes. And that is reality. I don't give a shit. If you think there's a problem with it, you know what? Any person could take a pair of scissors and stab you in the back nice and quiet, and you never know about it, right? A lot easier than a gun. The problem is, a pair of scissors ain't going to get at the guy that's freaking pushing the controls on you. That's the difference. Any person could take a pair of scissors and just kill somebody randomly, though, right? Correct? You know? Yeah, you could say, but you know, scissors are a lot quiet. It's a weapon, you know, anybody can use. You can't trace it. You know, nobody would think it's a weapon. It's a pair of scissors, right? Well, you know, the difference is scissors ain't going to work against armed freaking tyranny. That's the thing. It only works against other people that aren't suspecting. And you're not going to be able to get at the guys that are oppressors with a pair of scissors. You can only do that with a good rifle, period. And the military, I'm going to tell you again, they're a tool of the elite. Yeah, and the bottom levels are different. I know that. But the military, in essence, on the top are a bunch of freaking yes men, and they kiss the elite's ass, and they're totally about their careers in a direct deposit, 100%, no matter what the hell they freaking tell you. They're pissed off at the elite and all that kind of shit. They ain't. They're a bunch of garbage. I know it. I know it like anything.